Hey, it's V again, and I've been reading a book called The Book of Doors by Gareth Brown. The main character, Cassie, works at a bookstore in New York City. She lives a pretty quiet and ordinary kind of life. Like, she's not a very social person. Like, she's very close to her roommate Izzy, but other than that, she doesn't actually interact a whole lot with other people. Like, honestly, she hasn't, like, ever since her grandfather passed away, it sounds like she's kind of drifted through her life. Like, she's never really been able to move past the grief, even though it's been many years since then, and she's done a lot of like traveling around the world and other things. So one day, like near the end of her shift, like one of the bookstore's frequent customers, like this old man that she actually does speak to quite a bit, actually passes away right in front of her. Like, obviously, Cassie is extremely shocked by this event. She's also kind of sad and really surprised to discover that he's actually left her a book. Like, she's looking at the stuff that he was reading before he passed away and discovers that one of the books has a message in it where he's telling her to take the book and, I guess, enjoy having it. And this book is called The Book of Doors. So there's an inscription in this book, which is like the only writing in it that you can actually read other than the old man's note, that tells her that as long as you hold this book, then every door is any door. Like, basically, it's a book that lets you travel through doorways to anywhere that you want. And Cassie's really excited by this. Like, this gift pulls her into a side of the world that she didn't know existed, and she's really thrilled by the possibilities. So in this universe, you have a set of really unique books. Like, nobody knows exactly how many there are, or exactly what they can all do, but each one grants a different unique ability to the person holding it. So, for instance, you have the Book of Doors, which is Cassie's. You have the Book of Luck, that makes someone really lucky, like the Book of Safety, which prevents someone from being hurt, or like the Book of Health, which keeps someone healthy and lets them live for a really, really long time. And then you also have a lot of people who want these books. Like, you both have collectors, you have scholars who want to study it, but then you also have really evil or greedy people who want the books in order to do really bad things. I mean, imagine like the kind of crimes people could commit if they had the Book of Doors. So Cassie quickly learns, I guess, that there might be a lot more danger in these books than she originally knew, and she has to consider like what to do about it. Like, she meets different people, like other book hunters. She meets a librarian who is in charge of a secret library that works to protect these books and tries to stop them from falling into the wrong hands. So the story follows a lot of different characters, actually. So you have Cassie, you have her friend Izzy, you have the librarian, and then at least two of the bad guys who are after the book. And it, I guess it's actually pretty complicated that way. So it follows her story as she's drawn into this danger, has to figure out how to deal with this danger, and cooperates with like the librarian and the other people she meets along the way in order to try to figure out a better way to move into the future, where you maybe don't have to do things like destroy books in order to prevent them from being used by evil people. So something I liked about this story, I guess it's one of the few stories that did do things that surprised me. Like, I'm generally pretty good at predicting what's going to happen in a story, and I do not especially care about plot twists, but I will say that I think this story makes pretty good use of them. Like, it did a number of things, I guess, as you went through it that did catch me a little bit by surprise, and it manages to tie up a lot of loose ends that seem pretty unrelated to begin with, and it was kind of neat to see how everything does in the end come together. But something I did not like the general tone of this entire book was pretty grim. Like the evil people are pretty evil, and the writing style is a little bit more introspective. Like there's more focus, I think, on individual people and their internal thoughts, and a little less emphasis on the like dialogue between characters and stuff like that. There's maybe like one sentence in the entire book that amused me. So overall, like I did occasionally find it a little hard to get through because it was more dark than I essentially like, even though I do think the story ends well.